Hey guys, welcome to the channel, Thinking Theology. I'm Don. Today I'm just giving you something to think about in a different context perhaps that involves an infinite regression in regard to the atheism, creationism debate. Let's call it that. And the infinite regression goes like this. The creationist says God created everything. Okay? The earth, everything. The atheist says, if God created everything, where did God come from? And the debate continues like that, where the creationist says, the origins of everything is God. The atheist says, where then did God come from? It had to have had a beginning. So, depending on where you stop on the infinite regression, should you choose to have a stopping point and say, okay, I believe in a spiritual being, God is the common word term for that, created everything. Or if you believe that the material in the universe existed and that, say, mankind came from evolution and then we created our ideas of God, then that determines your worldview, your paradigm, your basic premise for how you view many other aspects of life and academic pursuits and just contemplation. Now, if you believe that God created the earth, the heavens, and the earth, that there was a being comprised of thought, power, and such, the next step is religion. Okay, religion comes out of that. And there are so many different religions, as we know. We've got three primary ones, but we've got many other ones. Neither is necessarily better than the other. Of course, if you believe a given one, then you think yours is the best. The right one, you've put thought into it. The agnostic says, you know what? I'm not quite sure. They've both kind of got equal merit. I can't really decide whether the matter, the material in the universe existed and then mankind sprang up and then through our human brains are wired in a sense for creativity that we were like, well, what comes after this life? There's got to be something. And then we created religion. We created notions of God, what God expects from us, dictates, mandates, commandments, and such. But the agnostic also acknowledges, well, where did all this stuff come from if not from a creator? Things have origins. That's what we're used to as human beings. We're birthed into this world. We think in terms of origins. And that's the infinite regression where, well, where did the matter come from if not God? Well, where did God come from if not from somewhere? Like everything had to have a beginning. And so depending on where you stop on that infinite regression, if you decide to make a choice, that's going to determine your worldview. So the creationist says, okay, there is a God. Let's look at these biblical texts. It could be the Hebrew Bible. It could be the New Testament. It could be the Quran. It could be the Karma Sutra. It could be any number of hundreds and thousands of different bifurcated religions and so forth. Now, to me, it doesn't matter whether somebody believes that there's a God or whether someone's an atheist. For me, I'll handle my own beliefs. I do believe it makes more sense that a being, supernatural being, would call all of this stuff into existence somehow. I have no idea how, honestly. And I don't believe that because the texts say, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That isn't what sways me. I think as a function of logic, just what appeals to me is that a mind with thoughts, power, being, whatever you want to call it, is more likely to have pre-existed matter. And that could be wrong. Unfortunately, we have to find out, we have to die to find out if we're right or wrong. But the atheist argument says these people rely on these texts for what they believe versus thinking back to a matter of origins. Where did everything come from? And neither, as a matter of logic or rationale, has a better case than the other. It is really a matter of personal belief, whether you believe matter came from God, so-called, or whether mankind basically created notions of God because this matter just always was here. It wasn't created, it was just here somehow. And because in a scientific sense, we can't prove or disprove either one of those. And that's where I think fairness comes into play, that you can respect an atheist if you're a creationist And if you're an atheist, you can respect a creationist, I think, as long as we're not jerks to one another. And to me, that's the basis. Like, I'll handle my own beliefs. My beliefs will change. They may change over to whatever yours are if we're talking about it. But that just gives you something to think about in terms of framing the creationist atheist argument, which actually kind of morphs into the creationist evolutionist argument. They're kind of similar, but have one significant different starting point, and that is the question of origins and which makes more sense on that infinite regression. And should you choose the decision, I don't know, then you would say, well, I'm agnostic. I don't really have a framework for that I'm settled on yet. And that's it. All right, leave your comments on that, folks. I hope that helps in some way, somewhere down the road, maybe now. All right, have a great day. Be kind to one another and keep thinking theology.